Donald Trump was absolutely losing it all last night, and words really can't describe how reprehensible his behavior was as he was making post after post, between 50 and 100 posts last night. He started posting photos and videos of former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as monkeys, and he did kind of faces of Michelle and Barack and their face over gorillas and monkeys. That is the most vile and despicable of posts, of many vile and despicable posts that Donald Trump has made. It's absolutely disqualifying. It's absolutely impeachable. It's absolutely vile conduct. He needs to be removed. Trump needs to be arrested. He needs to be prosecuted. He needs to get the hell out of there. And as I think right now about my baby girl, 16 months old, sleeping in the other room as I'm recording this video, and I think of this piece of filth in Donald Trump in the Oval Office, making post after post last night like this, it is so utterly sickening to me. He was posting photos as well of Bruce Lee randomly, and videos of Bruce Lee. He's posting more lies about the 2020 election and posting deranged things like 1 minute and 2 seconds seditious spirit conspiracy caption on tape data analysis finds that 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to Biden. He's posting photos of himself with Viktor Orban, and it's calling Viktor Orban, who's a Putin bootlicker, just like Donald Trump. Trump says a highly respected leader. No, Orban is not a highly respected leader. He's a traitor to the world, and he's a Putin bootlicker, just like Donald Trump, who has a photo of Vladimir Putin in the Oval Office. Look at these two thugs. Look at these two despicable pieces of trash right there, desecrating the Oval Office. Oh, and Donald Trump continued to panic and make these posts trying to say, I'm not friends with Epstein. I don't know Epstein at all. And then he's like posting photos of himself and Epstein. I mean, he's absolutely losing it last night. And if you're also wondering, like, why was he, like, what's he even doing right here? So the video or the photo of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama with the Photoshop like that, this is the video that Donald Trump posted. I'll just show you a portion of it here. Play this clip.
Counting resumed. There was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Donald Trump was panicking all last night as the fallout continues over the release of the Trump files. I mean, the Epstein files. I mean, Donald Trump's name does appear 38,000 times in it and over 5,000 documents, and it's only been a partial release. 3 million documents have still not been produced. Let me talk about what Donald Trump is doing. Just a reminder, hit subscribe, help us get to 6 million subscribers. We're less than 80,000 subscribers away from 6 million subs. Help us get to there. Donald Trump is posting the following. Julian Assange said there's no dirt on President Trump. Even when Obama was spying on him, he cannot find anything to compromise Trump. He is clean. That's why all they can do now is recycle old allegations that are unproven and have already been debunked. And Donald Trump is reposting some account called Stop World Control. Oh, wow. How could we argue with that, Donald? What in the world are you talking about? The Epstein files, I mean, the Trump files were just released. Your name appears 38,000 times in some of the most grotesque and vile ways. Then you've attacked former President Clinton and say we should focus on him. And then former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said, we want to testify publicly. And then you said, oh, I actually like Bill Clinton. I feel very bad that he has to testify publicly. Do you know how bad that makes you look? Because you've done really bad things, Donald. Your dark past is coming to light, and you don't like it one bit. Donald Trump then posts a photo of Mount Rushmore, and he goes, it's time to put President Trump on Mount Rushmore. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has sponsored legislation to put the 45th and 47th president on this national memorial. And Donald Trump goes, wow, so nice. Really, as Americans are psychologically tortured living paycheck to paycheck right now, if they're lucky enough to get a paycheck, Americans can't afford rent. You had some of the worst job claims that just came out. Job losses are the worst since the Great Recession. And this is what you're talking about. And then you're trying to shake down New York and Virginia and other states to put your name now on Penn Station and Dulles Airport. And you're saying, well, if you put my name on those airports, I'll release the funding to New York for the Gateway Project, and I'll release money to just put my name on Dulles and put my name on Penn Station. Dude, what in the world are you talking about? Also, Bitcoin is crashing, lost nearly 50% of its value since October. It is down dramatically since Trump took office. Everything Donald Trump touches dies. Like, that's incredibly true. Remember when Donald Trump, when he was campaigning, was at the Bitcoin conference, and Donald Trump said, "We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon." Here, play this clip.
Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me.
Not going to the moon, you're going to maybe the Earth's core, because it's going down, 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 down. But again, while American people are suffering worse job losses claims since the Great Recession, Donald Trump is posting things like this. Then he deleted it quickly. Posted, then deleted. He goes, "For the first time in 5 years, a majority of Americans say their personal finances are improving. This is just the beginning of the Trump economic boom." And Trump was getting absolutely roasted on X, formerly Twitter of all places. So he had to take that down because people are like, what in the world are you talking about? I mean, take a look at the latest Rasmussen poll. They're as friendly of a Trump pollster as you can be. They're basically propaganda polling for Donald Trump. They have his approval on Rasmussen at 41% and disapproval at 57%. You really can't get much worse than that when it comes to Rasmussen. But you said, Donald, that not a lot of new information is coming to light. Well, I did a deep dive yesterday on how it appears that Epstein was back channeling with you, in my opinion, of course. I'm giving you my First Amendment freedom of speech opinion, up until his death. And now we're seeing that the record regarding his death, lots of contradictions there. Who entered Epstein's jail tier the night of his death? Newly released video logs appear to contradict official accounts. Newly released Department of Justice documents show that investigators reviewing surveillance footage from the night of Jeffrey Epstein's death observed an orange-colored shape moving up a staircase toward the isolated locked tier where his cell was located at approximately 10:39 p.m. on August 9th, 2019, which contradicts official accounts per CBS. Should also be noted that we're seeing messages like this. Epstein email references about meeting Don Trump Jr. all the way through 2019 and having lunch. Jeffrey Epstein being involved with Sarah Ferguson, who was once part of the British royal family, but like Prince Andrew, not anymore, but for different reasons, but whatever. Why would Jeffrey Epstein be involved in Celebrity Apprentice casting emails? And you have Sarah Ferguson emailing Jeffrey Epstein about her appearing on The Apprentice. So apparently Epstein was involved or had some role with The Apprentice also. Interesting. But for Donald Trump, it's him posting, messages about Laura Loomer. Sheesh, Donald Trump repost. Sheesh. Laura Loomer just confronted Jake Tapper. Sheesh. Again, here's Bloomberg's headline: worst January for U.S. jobs since the Great Recession. But for Donald Trump, it's sheesh. Laura Loomer. I mean, again, how disconnected can you possibly be from the American people and what everybody's going through now? Let me share this with you as well. Former Trump voter who spoke with our friends over at Status Quo. As you know, we've been working with the folks at Status Quo. They've been covering the protests and they've been covering up the invasion of Minnesota by Donald Trump and his dastardly regime and ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo. They've interviewed this guy who was at the protest. Interesting what he had to say, that, he sees a lot of people at the protests who are Trump voters and Republicans who are protesting ICE and Border Patrol, Gestapo. By the way, did you see the professional wrestling videos that have been circulating where the fans, like, these World Wrestling fans, AEW fans and others, they're all like, F ICE, F ICE, F ICE. So anyway, here's this former MAGA guy. Here's what he's talking about with ICE and Border Patrol, Gestapo invading his city. Play this clip.
I know a lot of Republicans, a lot of former MAGA people that are fed up with this too. I mean, it's not just the left out here. There's a lot of right-wing people here in these protests. So.
And where do you typically lie on the left-right spectrum?
I'm gonna be honest. I voted for Trump twice, and the first 2 times, and then I didn't vote the 3rd time because I just thought he was a buffoon. But I only voted for him because I was just fed up with the economy. I voted with my wallet because I never used to be that much into politics. But then I watched them straight up execute a guy on the pavement, and then it's like, maybe I ought to pay attention. So
was Alex Preddy's death really a catalyst for you?
Yeah, it was the inflection point. It was like what got my attention.
And then can we just contrast all of that to what this was New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani's press conference yesterday. Like, he's talking about childcare, and it's just so wholesome and decent and good. Like, this is what leadership can look like. And there's a reason that Zoran Mamdani, like Donald Trump's approval is tanking. Zoran Mamdani's approval is through the roof, right? He's as popular as it can be on a bipartisan basis because he's actually focused on the people. Here, play this clip of Mamdani. Let's play this clip.
We will also work to welcome more family and home-based childcare providers into our programs. That's how I felt when we came up with this plan. For too long, these providers have been cut off from participating. Together, we will expand the idea of what is possible in our city and what sounds and noises we can make at a press conference. That expansion begins in a real, tangible way today with the launch of our RFI and expansion survey.
I'm going to do another video this morning about Donald Trump's ambassador to Poland, who's been attacking Poland and Poland's political leadership, and he's been pissing everybody off right there. So I'm going to do a whole video on how these furious world leaders are striking back. And by the way, Donald Trump held this bogus event about how he's saying that prescription drug prices have never been lower, that he's dropped them 500 to 7%. Here's what he says.
We'll have just about all of them, and they'll be available for differences of 5, 6, 700%, even in some cases more than that. We're tired of subsidizing.
Even state regime media known as Fox is like, we can't cover this anymore. I mean, this is just beyond terrible. Let's just get rid of this. And then Fox cuts him off because they realize that this is just the worst thing ever. Here, play this clip.
I see it autocompletes. When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that...
We'll have more news in reaction to Trump RX in a moment, but we now have a Fox News alert. Savannah Guthrie's brother, Cameron, just posted a video on Instagram moments ago.
By the way, Trump propagandist Scott Jennings was talking about Donald Trump demanding that his name be put on Dulles and Penn Station and all of these things in exchange for Donald Trump agreeing to fund these projects and fund other projects. And just like, how pathetic is Scott Jennings? Here, play this clip.
What happens when the next Democratic president, just decides, we're going to call it the Obama Lincoln Memorial. We're just going to slap Bill Clinton's name on, something, anything, arbitrarily. Are you guys going to be cool with that?
So you're saying a Democrat would put Obama's name on a statue that isn't of him? That would make them look like the stupidest person that ever lived.
Well, I'm glad you said that because the Kennedy Center is literally a congressionally
it's a building
named, a congressionally named memorial.
And then here's what Donald Trump's chief propagandist, Caroline Leavitt, had to say when she was asked about Steve Bannon's comments that ICE and Border Patrol are going to surround voting locations right now. Here, play this clip.
Thank you, Caroline. Steve Bannon recently said, quote, "We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November." Is that something that the president is considering?
That's not something I've ever heard the president consider, no.
So you can guarantee to the American public that ICE will not be around polling locations or voting locations in November?
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question. But what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
So pathetic. Anyway, everybody, hit subscribe. Help us get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks so much for watching and have a good one.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.meidastouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.meidastouch.com.